episode. There's a bit of a culture clash going on, kind of like aligning one group against another within the culture of hip-hop, I guess you could say. The Latino influence of hip-hop is coming into question, and there's an article here from XXL. It says Fat Joe receives backlash for saying blacks and Latinos are half and half in the creation of hip-hop. Fat Joe is getting major backlash for saying blacks and Latinos are half and half when it comes to the creation of hip-hop culture. On Friday, August 26th, Fat Joe hopped on Instagram Live to talk about DJ Khaled's new album, God Did. But for a brief moment, he addressed critics who believe that the Bronx rapper is spreading a lie about Latinos contributing to hip-hop. Joe said the haters are upset after he posted a video featuring Latino pioneers in hip-hop culture. Lately, they've been talking about Latinos and rap. These guys are fucking delusional. The veteran rhymer said in the 52-minute mark in the video below, has a video here. It says, "We're from the Bronx, New York, shit happens. When hip-hop started, it was half and half." Now, Joe went on to explain that the video he posted on August 25th, on Thursday, August 25th, which features several Latino pioneers in hip-hop, including DJ Junebug, Prince Whipper-Whip, and Ruby D, DJ Disco Wiz, DJ Charlie Chase, and the Rocksteady crew, and more. It made a lot of people mad, and he stands by his words that and what he published on his social media account. He said history is history, and he just doesn't get it. They gotta stop. They gotta fucking stop. Okay, additionally, Fat Joe posted another video from Grandmaster Caz of the Cold Crush Brothers, and he reiterated Joe's point that Latinos were involved in hip-hop. Now, Fat Joe's remarks have generated backlash of comments from people on social media who believe that foundational black Americans, also known as FBA, were the sole creators of hip-hop and Latinos were never involved in the culture. Now, here's a tweet. It says, "If every single element of hip-hop culture was created by foundational black Americans and one or two Latinos just happened to wander off into a hip-hop party in the 70s, how does that equate to blacks and Latinos being half and half in the creation of hip-hop?" That's from Tariq Nasheed. "The math isn't mathing," he said. There's another tweet. It says, "I'm a 53-year-old woman from Jamaica, Queens, New York, raised as a church girl, and even I know that hip-hop was birthed by young black men in the Bronx." And Tashina Arnold, the actress from the TV show Martin, said, "Rap was how the different boroughs of New York communicated with each other. Stop hijacking black culture." Now, I'm a student of the hip-hop culture, so I have a take on it, and here's my take on it. Hip-hop culture is a global phenomenon which has historical origins that have long been observed as having taken place in the Bronx borough of New York City. NYC's population for decades has been a blend of many different cultures and races: Haitian, Italian, Dominican, Jewish, Jamaican, Puerto Rican, etc. A lot of these cultures that make up the diverse tapestry of the populace happen to come from places like the Caribbean. Now, growing up as a student of the hip-hop culture, I was well aware early on of the presence of some of these cultures within hip-hop. The Bridge Is Over by Boogie Down Productions featured KRS-One calling back to his roots with some Jamaican dancehall style toasting. Others that share his Jamaican lineage were also instrumental in the founding and evolution of hip-hop culture, such as the man that many recognize as the father of hip-hop, DJ Kool Herc, and an MC that many consider one of the GOATs, Biggie Smalls, aka the Notorious B.I.G. Now, Latin culture has also been an important piece of that NYC puzzle since hip-hop's inception. From legendary Bronx lyricist the late Big Pun and his partner, the DITC Crew's Fat Joe, to low-life General Thurston Howell III, Killer Army's Don Pacino, Brooklyn's own DJ Tony Touch, Underground MC Collective The Arsonists, and the Native Tongues affiliated production and MC duo The Beatnuts, all the way back to the early days with such contributors as B-Boy pioneer Crazy Legs of Rocksteady Crew, Bronx DJ Charlie Chase of the Cold Crush Brothers, Prince Whipper-Whip, Prince Marky D of the Fat Boys, the original Latin hip-hop DJ Disco Wiz is also in that group. In terms of black history, the struggle for civil rights also has a strong link to the Caribbean, with Malcolm X having roots in Grenada and Marcus Garvey being born in Jamaica. Now, in recent years, there have been a couple of movements on the rise, one called FBA that I spoke about earlier in the article. They're known as the Foundational Black Americans, and another called ADOS, or American Descendants of Slavery. These movements are based in the concept of creating a separate identity for Black people born in America outside of the immigrant population. The purpose of this is to lay claim to homegrown Black American culture and reduce the elements of foreign influence from the Black American experience. Now, while this may seem like a noble cause at first glance, with a bit of research, one can quickly discover that this largely internet-based movement has some questionable adherents. I had a personal interaction with some members of one of these movements that deteriorated rapidly as soon as their philosophy was questioned. The conversation ended with me being accused of being a quote-unquote tether, which means someone with immigrant parentage, which I do not have, and a quote-unquote agent, which means I am secretly working for a nefarious entity. I will sum it up like this. The MLK dream speech envisioned a utopian world where all cultures and races could eventually hold hands and exist in harmony. I think this concept has been most closely approached by hip-hop culture. I don't mean the music business, I mean the raw art form. It's universal and welcomes everyone. All of these dividing lines that separate us don't strengthen the movement, they weaken it. We live in an age where most activists are on the internet, residing in paranoid, self-serving echo chambers. The concept of community has gotten away from real-world action and evolved into merch sales and social media likes. The people lost their faith in politics long ago, and the next best thing is to feed your fears and gripes into a mobile device. Separation and xenophobia are at an all-time high. Isolation breeds hatred, and those of us who don't live in large metropolitan areas where one has to face a diverse population daily have the unfortunate luxury of being able to freely immerse ourselves into separatist ideologies without protest. This same circumstance applies to those who exist in online echo chambers. If you surround yourself with people that all have bad ideas and agree with them all based on fear and prejudice, such is how brainwashing begins. Cults are formed shortly thereafter. Now, how do you feel about it? Please respond in the comment section below the YouTube video, and be sure to click on that bell icon and subscribe to my channel.